We'll start with Ryan Blackburn.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned before the game that these were the kinds of teams that you were most afraid of in this situation. How did you like your team's approach professionally to this game?
Oh, yeah, I liked it a lot. It's something before we left the locker room, I asked the players, I said, what do you think worries me most about this game? And Will Barton said right away, us. Because in my 6 years, there have been times where we looked at a team that maybe only had 14 wins, that was 1-9 in their last 10. And the challenge was simple. This game had nothing to do with the Houston Rockets. It was all about us, our approach. And I asked JaVale McGee, who's been on 3 world championship teams, what do good teams do? And they handle their business. And I thought tonight we were able to do that. Guys got off to a good start. I thought the bench unit once again was really good. JaMychal and Paul really finding a rhythm. Facu, PJ in the backcourt. And then obviously, you have Michael Porter and Nikola Jokic kind of leading that charge in the starting unit. But, we were able to pull away as the game went on. So I loved our approach, and I loved how we handle our business in a mature manner.
Vinny Benedetto.
Hey, Michael, we didn't see Monte after, I think, early in the third quarter. I guess, what, if any, update do you have on his status? And then how important were he and Facu's defense on John Wall in that, as you guys built that lead in that first half? I think you guys turned him over 7 times in the first half.
Yeah, so he was just getting a little tight, and I just didn't want to chance it. Obviously, no Jamal Murray right now. I could see him grabbing at I think it was his hammy. So just being really cautious, get him out, get him some treatment, see what it's out. And with the game being what it was, an opportunity for other guys to play. Regarding the defense on John Wall, John Wall's an all-star. We know the talent that he is, and I think all of our guys embrace the challenge of trying to guard him. And not one guy is going to guard John Wall. You need somebody on the ball, but you need 4 other players showing the crowd, shrinking the floor to make that paint look crowded. So, a really good job on that side of it as well.
Kyle Fredrickson.
Hey, Michael, before the game, you talked about the importance of getting guys like Aaron a little bit of rest when you can. Tonight sure seemed like an opportunity for that. For all your starters to have them get rest in this condensed season whenever you can get it, just seems like tonight was a good showcase of that.
Oh, it was great. Not having to go back to our starters in that fourth quarter, tremendous. Aaron plays 22 minutes, Nikola plays 27. No one had crazy minutes tonight, which was a testament to the second unit. It's 2 games in a row with that group of Facu, PJ, JaMychal, Paul have played at a high level, and hopefully that continues. It's also important because that was our 8th game in 13 days. We go 6-2 over that stretch, which is, I think, tremendous at this late stage of the season. And now we have 2 days in between games, something that does not happen very often, especially in this second half. So to get guys some rest tonight into these next couple of days is a great opportunity for all of our guys to mentally and physically kind of take a deep breath.
Ashley Neville.
Hey, Coach, I know you've alluded to it before and just now talking about, the scheduling this season, the shortened schedule, not as much time in between finishing playoffs and starting the season. And now we're seeing even more players every week. I feel like it's someone else, down with a season-ending injury. Do you think the league needs to maybe look into this a little bit more going forward? And what do you think that they can maybe do better in these next upcoming seasons?
Yeah, I think the league is definitely aware of it. Obviously, I think coronavirus, the COVID pandemic that's still going on has really thrown everybody for the loop, Ashley. And I was really hoping, the beginning of the season, you had heard mid-January. I was really hoping that'd be the case because I think that would have helped everybody physically, but also mentally. I don't think it's any secret that, us, the Lakers, Boston, Miami, the final 4 teams in the bubble, we've all had interesting seasons, a lot of ups and downs. And I think that's indicative of the mental strain, the physical strain, not just from the bubble, but the shortened off season, a really shortened training camp and preseason, into a really dense schedule. And ultimately, the NBA wants their best players to be able to play and be healthy. So moving forward, I'm excited about next year because we're starting to get word of when the season's going to start, when media day, when training camp. And that's so important because we haven't had that clarity in like 2 years because of what coronavirus brought to not just the NBA, but the entire world. But I think Adam Silver and his staff are aware of that. This was a situation where they tried to start a little earlier, and unfortunately there were injuries because of that. But I believe next season they will get back to trying to limit the back-to-backs, limit the 4 and 5s, and not be so dense so you don't have as many injuries as you're having right now. Sorry for the long answer.
Leonardo Torres.
Hi, Coach. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Congrats on the win. Coach,
Thank you.
the consistency of the bench was a key factor to win tonight. And what are your thoughts on the development of Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah, well, I agree, Leonardo. I thought, 2 games in a row now where we're getting consistent minutes, effort, productivity from that bench unit, and that's really important. I think most nights, what you're going to get from our starting group, but if we can kind of get some consistency every night from that bench, that makes us a much more dangerous team. Regarding Michael Porter, 21 points, 5 rebounds, and most importantly, Leonardo, he did it really efficiently. 7 of 13 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, and he as well had some good defensive possession. So it's fun to watch. His development, his maturation, and I think the most exciting thing about Michael Porter is that he still has so much room to grow, and he's still doing all this as a guy that really just is early in his second NBA season.
All right, Coach, we got time for one more. We're going to end with Ryan Blackburn.
Coach, we talked about the availability aspect of this. From your perspective as a coach, Nikola Jokic has been there every single day. What does it mean to you, and what has it meant to this team as that's been a large narrative in this MVP race?
Oh, it's a tremendous positive impact. We've played 56 games, and Nicola's been available for every one of them. And if you go back to January 2nd, I think we're now 35 and 16 since that day. Obviously we got off to a poor start. And Nikola, his fingerprints are all over everything we do. Offensively, defensively, locker room, culture, huddles, whatever you want to talk about, Nikola's going to be in the mix. He has that kind of impact. And for me, obviously, I'm definitely biased. I admit that. But what makes him the MVP is, yes, the availability. He hasn't missed any games. He has this team with lots of new players. We've got guys in and out all season, still in the top 4 of a very deep and talented Western Conference. And then you talk about his stats, his efficiency. It's historical type numbers. So we're fortunate to have him. We all realize that. And what I love about Nikola is talk about a selfless superstar. Akin to a guy like Tim Duncan, great player, just wants to win, just wants to be with his family, his beautiful wife, Natalia, and he's not worried about all the limelight and the ego and all the other stuff. You see all these guys out there, Twitter. I really get a kick out of this. Guys that love taking pictures of themselves and posting that. Who does that? I've never seen Nikola once take a picture of himself and post it. And that's what I love about him, on top of being just a great, great player. So that's all I got. Pickle Palooza. See you.
Thank you, Coach.